Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
It's a Monday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show coming to you, of course, from our Monday home. You know it by now. Icebreakers Bar and Grill inside the beautiful Community First Igloo right here off of Emerson off 95. You've seen it. You passed it. Hopefully you've swung in here and taken a look at this incredible facility. 2 full-size ice rinks, a massive sports bar, Icebreakers, which is where we are at right now and every Monday. They've got free skate. Just come on in if you have a ice skating background, get you some ice time. If you want to learn it, you want to try it for one time. It's a fun date place. It's just a fun place all the way around. You may have young people that you may have moved down, job relocation. They've got a ton of hockey leagues for the youngsters and all the way through the adults. A lot going on. And this, of course, is the training facility of the Jacksonville Icemen. They play their games downtown in the arena, obviously, but the corporate headquarters are right beyond that rink over there, and this is where they do all of their practicing. A gorgeous facility, the Community First Igloo is what they call it. We're inside Icebreakers Bar and Grill. Glad to be here, Terry Norvelle. We hope to hear from Patrick Young in a little bit. Let me set the show a little if we can. About 4:40 here in the first hour. We'll break away from college football and, of course, the NFL. We'll break away a little bit and have our Icemen report. We do it every Monday with Alex Reed. He is the Director of Broadcasting and Communications for the Jacksonville Icemen. They had a pretty good week. They started last week with a 5-0 shutout win. We'll talk about how the games went last week, what the holiday week schedule is, and they've got some good stuff going on starting on Wednesday. The next home game, couple home games you can catch, bring some family out if you like. We'll go over everything Icemen about 4:40 today in our number one. Second hour, 5-ish, 5:05 or so. Brent Beard will join us, our college football analyst or college sports analyst, and my goodness gracious, what a absolute bonkers Saturday it was in college football, and obviously we'll spill over into a couple of really intriguing, weird, strange, crazy play NFL games yesterday, and Jaguars back in action finally. It feels like the Jaguars have been off for about 2 months. The Jaguars at home against Houston. What to do with Trevor Lawrence? If you were making the call, and I don't know if there's a definitive answer on Trevor Lawrence, obviously shoulder injury, and I think Trevor's probably lugging around multiple you're a football player, you get tackled, you get hit, injuries. He's probably banged up pretty good. He's been hit a lot. The offensive line hasn't done him any great favors this year, or actually his entire career, if you want to know, at Jacksonville. What do you do if you're Trevor Lawrence? What do you do if you're the Jaguars regarding Trevor Lawrence? 6 games left. The Jaguars are going absolutely nowhere. They are 2-9. We know that. 6 games left. And there's a couple ways to think about this thing. Are you in the camp that says, why would you just not absolutely treat Trevor Lawrence like a high-performance race car, a Lotus, a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, one of those high-end, highly tweaked, open-wheel, Formula One, just gazelle-type cars that, you got to tweak the carburetor, got to get it perfect. You got to get the suspension and the timing belt and this. I'm not a car guy, but there's a line of thinking that would say, just shut him down. Just think about sending Trevor Lawrence into the garage for the next 4, 5, 6 months before you get back on the field in 2025. And send him into the garage, using that analogy, and tweak everything. Make everything as close to new as possible. Rework everything. Get his bumps and bruises, his strains, his sprains, his shoulder, his knee, his whatever, his bruises, his bumps. That's one camp. Maybe you just do that the rest of the way and put him in the garage the rest of the season and start working on him. Hook up the diagnostic machine like they do cars in the garage, and anything that might be hurting, that might not be firing out at 100%, start working on it. Try to get Trevor Lawrence as close to factory, if you're using the car analogy still, get him as close to factory specs as possible. Why mess around with he's the closest thing you have on that roster to a franchise player. He's the only thing probably you have on that roster. As a franchise, we've got something you don't, player. He's not there yet, but that could be your thought process. And that might be the Jags. Shut him down and fine-tooth comb from the top of his hair to the toenails on his feet. See if you can get him as close to back to 100% as you can and tackle 2025. Now, that's one way to think of it. There are pros and cons. Some people say that there is no con. That's what they should do. This regular season doesn't matter. Well, it does a little bit. Remember, first and foremost, you're in the entertainment business. The Jacksonville Jaguars are in the football/entertainment business. People pay good money to be entertained by what they paid for. So you got to consider that. You got to consider that a little bit. Okay, you can spin off and say, well, they're trying to protect the people that are spending the money for next year and give the best. Okay, I get that. But you've got to consider everything. Is it best? Now, is it, and this is it's real close. This is really close to saying, well, yeah, as a whole, what's the best thing for the right now? What is the best outcome that could happen to the Jacksonville Jaguars the next 6 games? And I'm going to go, I don't know if they are mathematically eliminated, but they're not going to the playoffs. Okay, let's just get that out there. They're not going to the playoffs. With that being on the table, what is the absolute best thing that could happen over the next 6 games for the Jacksonville Jaguars organization as a whole? You could say win all 6 games, have momentum into next season. Okay. You could say shut Trevor Lawrence down, get him as close to his factory health, if you will, going into next season as possible. Okay. You also could make a hellacious argument for the absolute best thing left that the Jaguars could possibly accomplish the rest of this season with 6 games to go is, and this is dicey, acquiring the number 1 overall pick. And you got to lose some games to do that. And I'm not saying throw the games, tank the games, but if Trevor Lawrence has taken his last snap in the 2024 season, that is the best route to losing the rest of the way. I mean, you could make that argument. You could actually make the argument that if you truly want to use the next 6 Jacksonville Jaguar football games and do what's absolutely best for the franchise moving forward, you could actually do a little 2-for-1. And the 2-for-1 would be shut Lawrence down, like I said, and absolutely work your ass off. Have him work his ass off to tweak every ailment he's got. Get him as close to 100% health going into what? May, when they hit the field for the first time, the veterans. And the 2-for-1 there, you could do that, and that would probably help you accomplish making a run for the number 1 pick. Because if he doesn't play, I mean, you saw Mac Jones. And I know the competition is supposed to be stepping back, but Mac Jones, he's not going to win a lot of football games. Anyway, it's an interesting dilemma that people down in the stadium, they've got to figure out. They've got to figure out which way they're going to go. Boy, that number 1 pick is intriguing, though. It is intriguing, and you've heard me say it. I'll say it a billion times if they were to get it. Do not use the pick on a player. Use the pick for leverage. Use the pick for a couple of players and a pick. Do not take one player. As tempting as it would be to go get Travis Hunter, Do not do that if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars. Somebody else? Yes. Probably a lot of other teams, yes. Well, if you get that number one pick, get in touch with those teams that think they're one player away and play one against the other and see what you can get. I would imagine if you could find the right trade partner with that pick, the Jaguars could get a starting offensive lineman. I don't know if that's a right tackle or a guard, or even, hell, they may be in the market for a center. I would think you could get a starting lineman, maybe somebody's third secondary guy, nickel guy. Maybe you could convert him into your number two cornerback, and then whatever their pick is. If you trade out with the team and they give you that, if they want one, if they are dying for Travis Hunter or Shedeur Sanders, you get a couple proven players, not super, not. And you notice I said right tackle, not left tackle. Well, somebody's not going to give you their big-time starting left tackle and the starting cornerback and their pick. Okay, so you got to be reasonable. A starting lineman, a quality offensive lineman that has proven his wear in the NFL, a solid secondary player, and their pick. That team you're trading with, they'll have a pick. Maybe it's 8, maybe it's 9, maybe it's 7. Maybe it's 10. That's what you do with that pick. That is what the Jacksonville Jaguars, I don't care who's coming out. I don't care where you went in the history of the NFL and said you could have this guy in his prime. The Jacksonville Jaguars are much more needy than just one player. They've got many more needs than one player. So one thing to kick around the Jaguars, where do they go? Where do they go? We'll see. Word is, obviously, Lawrence has not been ruled out yet. You heard some sound here on Action Sports Jacks, I think it was yesterday and today, that Doug Peterson, I think, is playing it by the vest. But typical, obviously, tomorrow is the off day in the NFL. Practice Wednesday. Really, if you don't go by Wednesday, you probably don't go. We'll see. Houston comes into town. Big game for Houston. And it would be interesting to know what the Jaguar philosophy. Obviously, they can't come out and say, hey, we're going for the first pick. Because, again, you've got to protect, to a degree, your paying customers. You are in the entertainment business. When you cut it down any way, shape, or form, the NFL, and it may not seem this way, but the NFL is in the entertainment business, and they are fighting for disposable income. The NFL is fighting. Who are the enemies of the NFL? Not really basketball and baseball and or college football. The opponent for the NFL is the golf course, the marina, the mall, airlines taking people places, fun places. That's who you're competing. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful when you hear people say, well, this franchise is going to tank, or that franchise is going to tank for this, tank for that. Got to be careful. You got to be careful, because you also don't want to set a precedent where your fan base goes, making that full commitment for season tickets. Well, the Jaguars have got a propensity to dog it in the last 3 or 4 home games, 2, 3, 4 home games. Yeah, you got to be careful, and you got to understand that. That is a concern. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. Wow, college football. We'll get into it a little bit now, and then certainly we'll get deep into it in hour number 2 with Brent Beard, our college sports analyst. Wow, what a absolute bonkers weekend. Where do we start? Winners, losers from college football. Losers, pretty obvious. Ole Miss, Alabama, Texas A&M, and I'm going to put an asterisk by A&M. I may put them in both columns, winner and loser. You may say, what are you talking about, Terry? Hang tight. Okay. Losers from this weekend, college football, big losers. Ole Miss basically played themselves out of the college football playoff. Same can be said for Alabama, and who saw that coming? Wow. That wasn't an Alabama loss. That wasn't an Oklahoma win. That was an Oklahoma bludgeoning. And Oklahoma winning is one thing. Oklahoma beat the brakes off of Alabama. Really wasn't a game. Ole Miss loser from the weekend. Alabama loser from the weekend. Texas A&M loser-ish from the weekend. I'll get to that in a moment. Indiana, boy, were they exposed. Boy, were they exposed. How big of a how much panache will the Big Ten have? Indiana. They've played nobody all year of substance. They play their first big game and get just road graded by Ohio State. And they have nobody else on the schedule. How do you, boy, that could be a devastating one loss for Indiana. Colorado, tough loss. Really, the Buffaloes were never in the game. They never could stop Kansas. They went up and down the field. Tough one, Colorado, basically, not mathematically, I don't think, but Colorado basically out of the Big 12 championship game. In terms of winners, my God, was it Christmas Day times 1,000 this past Saturday for the Georgia Bulldogs. What a wonderful, wonderful day for Georgia. I mean, Bulldog Nation woke up Saturday going, okay, pretty good spot, I think, provided that the committee doesn't get all politically correct and say the two SEC teams that play in Atlanta for the conference championship, is it going to be +1? Well, gosh, then it could be Texas, Alabama, and Ole Miss if they route Florida. This is Georgia's mindset going into Saturday. Dicey. And I said all week, Georgia's best friend Saturday gone by was Florida. Georgia could really benefit from Florida beating Ole Miss. My God, it was Christmas Day for the Bulldogs times 1,000 Saturday. Ole Miss goes down, cleared a path for Georgia. Alabama goes down, a team that, let me back up. Ole Miss, a team that beat Georgia, so they would have had a tough time with a head-to-head if it came down to 1-1 getting into Atlanta, for instance. Alabama, a team that beat Georgia. Both of those teams lost in front of the Dogs. The Dogs were not threatened. Texas A&M, they're the team I don't know where to put. Was it a ugly loss for A&M, or they got a mulligan, man? They still have a mulligan. Do you realize Texas A&M, even though they lost to Auburn Saturday night, what a painful way to lose too. They dialed up a bit of a trick play and hit the guy in the chest, and he dropped it to end the game. A&M got a reprieve, though. That's why I put them big winner, big loser. They got a reprieve. If they knock off Texas, it's a winner take all. Georgia is in the SEC championship game by virtue of those crazy losses during the Saturday. They will play Texas or Texas A&M. Those two Texas schools play. Is that Friday? Is that no? That is Saturday. Texas A&M. Winner plays Georgia. So A&M got a bit of a reprieve. Man, did A&M let that game get away. They fell behind 21-0. They made a comeback in the first half. They started getting control in the third quarter. A&M took over the game with Auburn. A&M, and we'll talk to Brent Beard about all these games in the second hour. Texas A&M took over the game with Auburn and really dominated. They were really just marching up and down the field, dominating. They let it get away in regulation, got it in overtime, and boy, I did not like some of the play calls. I thought A&M got very, very conservative, and Auburn pulled it out, but it did not wreck Texas A&M's season. So I put them in the loser and the winner category. They're still alive. Georgia, huge winner from this past weekend. SMU, huge winner. Got their win. They've moved on. SMU will take on either Clemson or Miami. If Miami beats Syracuse, SMU, Miami, that will be a fun football game. That'll be a lot of offense. That'll be a fun one. I thought Clemson also, they just held serve. Nobody knows what's going on in the Big 12. I guess a big weekend win was Arizona State. The Big 12's wide open. Kansas has got to be kicking themselves where they're at right now versus how they stubbed their toe a few weeks ago and kind of played themselves out of the Big 12. Do you realize Kansas just set a record for, let me phrase this if I can get it right. The Kansas Jayhawks just wrapped up their third consecutive win over an unranked team their third win in a row over ranked opponents as an unranked opponent. Kansas under 500. They've struggled. They've put it together, and they've knocked off 3 consecutive ranked teams as an unranked team. I think that's the first time ever in the history of Power 4, Power 5 college football. So there you have it. All right, let's take our first break here. About 20 minutes in, 20 minutes or so from now, we'll talk some Icemen hockey. When we come back, I just want to go over the broken record that I say all the time about college football, where a lot of people thought it was going and where it is and where it's going and how it's going there. We'll review that. We'll talk with Alex Reed about 440, some Icemen. What's going on with the Icemen? You got families starting to roll into town. You want to get them out sometimes, golf course, entertain them. They can't just stay at the house all the time. You've got some great options this coming week with the Jacksonville Icemen. We'll catch up with all things Icemen on the other side about 440 here this first hour. One segment down, a long way to go. Sunny day, pretty nice day outside. It warmed up nicely. I think it'll get chilly the next couple of days. But, man, is it gorgeous out there, as you can see from that overhead view. It is a Monday. It is a Icebreakers Bar and Grill Monday right here on the Young Norvelle Show, right here on Action Sports Jax.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine-in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming, from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Pop in shot. That's a good looking shot above the stadium. Hopefully we are not able to see into our stadium in a few years because there will be a shaded cover, I think, over that. And I think we'll all be happy about that. But that was a nice look inside the stadium where the Jaguars will be back in action on Sunday, taking on Houston. Big game for Houston. They are, I think Houston, not quite as good a season as I thought they would have, but they're in the right division this year, and they're bound for the playoffs. Pretty good Monday night game tonight. Ravens, Chargers, two good teams that are playoff bound most likely. Should be a pretty good football game. And a couple wild plays and finishes, as is always the case yesterday in the NFL, including what I got in and pretty much watched the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the Redskins Cowboys game. Boy, that was nuts. And weird plays, strange plays, bad football at times, and bad kicking at times. But what a weird ending in that crazy old-timey rivalry. Welcome back, Terry Norvelle, right here inside Icebreakers Bar and Grill, our Monday home, right off of I-95 on the Emerson exit. You see the beautiful Community First Igloo. This is our home, gorgeous sports bar. They've got a very unique setup, too, at their bar inside Icebreakers Bar and Grill. They have an ice bar, meaning if you sit at the bar, and it's a long bar here. They probably have, 25 seats. And if you sit at the bar, obviously TVs, and you can eat and drink at the bar, but they have this probably 8-inch strip of ice, just like the hockey rinks. You can take your beer, your cold drink, your mug of whatever, and set it on the ice at the top of the ice bar. Keep it cold. It's pretty cool. I've seen it like one other place. Pretty cool, though. Maybe it's a northern thing, but it's a pretty neat. The Icebreakers Ice Bar here inside Community First Igloo. Looking around at winners and losers in the NFL this past weekend. Winners, Philadelphia. Whew, that was impressive. Certainly Dallas. I thought Green Bay, they took care of business. They had to Seattle with a nice win. Losers, boy, that could be a. I don't think they're going to catch them, but Washington losing that game yesterday hurt a lot. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I mentioned Philadelphia playing good ball. Boy, really probably wishes the playoffs were starting right now. Pittsburgh, it was a couple days ago, but that could be a damning loss for Pittsburgh to Cleveland the other night. As I get a little H2O here. Don't mean to pick on the guy, but again, 6 points is all he led. He being Anthony Richardson, 6 points for the Colts. Richardson, another, and this seems like week after week, 11 completions, 28 attempts. That is atrocious. Just atrocious. Well under 50% in a league now where mid-60s is just kind of where you've got to be in the NFL. You've got to complete 63, 64% of your passes. That's industry standard now. And again, the scoreboard and the stat sheet, it's hard to lie. Anthony Richardson, again, not picking on the guy, 11 of 28 passing. The Colts muster 6 points in a loss. You just wonder how much longer. I mean, if you're the Colts, if you're management with the Colts, are you truly hitching your wagon to, well, you know what? He hasn't played that much football, and maybe it's 5 more starts, 10, 15, 20, but it's going to come on. It's going to happen. Maybe you're right. I could sit here and eat crow, and I wouldn't mind. I got nothing against Anthony Richardson, but is that what they're thinking? Well, he didn't play a lot of football in Florida. I agree. but when he played, sometimes the eyeball test is the eyeball test. And I know guys can change. I get it. It just doesn't look like Anthony Richardson has the touch to play quarterback, the feel to play quarterback, the it to play quarterback. Is he another? Is Anthony Richardson another position parading as a quarterback? I don't know. I don't know if he's in the wrong position. Maybe he's just not a football player. Maybe he's just not a football player. Or maybe the Colts are right. Maybe they're hanging on and supporting their guy and saying, I'm telling you, it's in there. He just needs some more experience. He just needs 5 more games. The light's coming on in 10 more starts, 5 more starts, 3 more starts next year. Whew, I would have a lot of trouble if that's the camp that I'm in with Anthony Richardson. College football, as we're winding down regular season number 1 in the expanded playoff era, where we're talking 4 to 12. A couple of things you've heard. You've started to hear this when the playoffs were formulated, and now they're enacted going to 12 this year, but they've been formulated for several years, and we've played our way to this position. Same thing with the portal and the NIL. There was portal talk, then it got enacted, an NIL talk, and it got – so we've been probably a good 5 years into this portal NIL, where that's been the law of the land in college football. And we've seen this expanded 12-team playoff down the horizon. We started looking at it when it got voted in and set, because it couldn't start the year it got set. But we've been looking at it and talking about it and waiting for it to get here 4 or 5 years as well. So call it 5 years, both of these things. The negative side of both of these topics I just brought up, the negative people out there, oh my God, the college football playoff is going to absolutely kill the college football regular season. It's going to limit the rivalry games as moot points. They're just not going to be as passionate. They're just not going to mean as much. It's going to take away because there's the bigger prize. You may play again in the postseason. You heard it, and you've heard it, and you've heard it over the years from a large group. Oh, my God, this college football playoff, it's going to kill the rivalry regular season games that make college football. Okay, so basically we're 1 season into this. Do you still think that way? I mean, do you truly think this year's LSU-Alabama game was less passionate? This year's Florida-Georgia game, was it less passionate? Texas-Oklahoma, was it less No. Georgia-Tennessee, was that less? Florida-Tennessee that night in Knoxville, are you telling me that was less passionate? Not even close. There was no difference. No difference at all in the level of excitement and passion and fan fervor. Florida State will play Saturday. Now, if the game gets out of hand, but that's a whole different argument. But Florida State, oh my God, the passion will be in that building. I don't know how long it'll last. Ohio State, Michigan. Florida, Miami to open the year. Do you think the playoff had anything to do? And did the playoff squash the? No, not one iota. And then you hear it, and you will hear it from me forever. The negative college football fan, hey man, and you see this and hear this everywhere. Hopefully it's dwindling, hopefully, because they're being proven wrong. But how about negative college football fan across the country? Let me tell you something. This portal, this NIL is killing college football. College football is going to die. It's dying. It's killing. Really? Show me one aspect that backs that up. No, you can't show me anything quantitatively, numeric, qualitatively, lifestyle. There's not. Well, college football has never, ever, 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 ever been more popular. Ever. And it doesn't seem like it's even thinking about slowing down. Anyway, that's the argument. Let me go through some games to set you up with regard to the NFL. Obviously, Thursday, 3 games on Thursday, kind of setting your week. By the way, we are here. We're going to be off on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, as is most people, as are most people. So we'll take off the Young and Norvelle show. No Thursday show. We'll get back to Sliders the Thursday after, hopefully. We got to get through, obviously, New Year's and New Year's Eve as well. So this week, the only day we'll be off is Thursday. We will have a show on Friday. Looking forward to it. We'll have a lot of football on while we're on the air and previewing while we're on the air. But looking at the week that is right now, NFL Thursday, Thanksgiving, 3 games. Chicago at Detroit is the early game. The middle game, the Giants at Dallas. And then Miami at Green Bay. Could have been a really good game. Miami playing a little bit better, though. So Chicago, Detroit, Thanksgiving NFL game 1. Middle game, the sandwich game, the Giants and the Cowboys. And then the evening game on Thanksgiving night, Miami, the Dolphins at Green Bay. Gosh darn, why didn't they play that in Miami? Okay. I don't know what the weather forecast is, but aren't they going to feel pretty stupid if it's like 4 degrees in Green Bay at night, Thanksgiving night, and it's not a playoff game, so you're not rewarding somebody with a home game, and it's about 79 in Miami that night. Anyway, those are your 3 games. Sunday NFL games coming up. Only a couple that really grabbed me. Chargers at Falcons. Tennessee at Washington. Washington, boy, that was a potentially damning loss yesterday that they gave away. Philadelphia at Baltimore could be a pretty good game. Boy, Baltimore's got a tough schedule. How about tonight, the Chargers, and then Sunday, Baltimore will host Philadelphia. That is rough. Real quick before we take a break and hopefully get with Alex Reed and talk some Icemen hockey. College football, a lot of games coming up. Not all on Saturday, as you would expect. Thursday, Memphis at Tulane. Tulane still harboring hope that they could squeeze into that group of 5 bid if Boise State. Boise almost lost. Boise, they had to fight from behind to beat Wyoming. So Thursday, Memphis at Tulane. And unfortunately, it's a pretty light Thanksgiving night college football schedule. I love the Egg Bowl when it was on Thanksgiving consistently. It is not there anymore. Friday, you've got some decent games, and a couple games will be on while we are on the air at Bricks on Friday. Friday, Oregon State at Boise State. Remember, Boise cannot afford a loss to get that group of 5 bid. Boise State hosting Oregon State. Oklahoma State at Colorado. See how the Buffaloes rebound after being basically eliminated. Also Friday night is the Egg Bowl. Gosh darn, move that thing to Thursday like it used to be. Mississippi State. State taking on Ole Miss, and they would love to spring a crazy upset on a hangover Ole Miss team. You got to believe Ole Miss is going to have a little bit of a hangover from their trip to Gainesville. Also Friday night, Georgia Tech at Georgia. This is a good, not great Georgia team. And this is the best Georgia Tech team they've had in 3 or 4 years, 5 or 6 years probably. Georgia Tech, bowl eligible, playing pretty good football. Georgia Tech on Friday night at Georgia. And the Dogs, if they were to mess around and get upset, that would force Georgia to win the SEC championship game to get in the playoff probably. Oh, Georgia Tech could really put a wrinkle in Georgia's plans. But that is a Friday night game, Georgia Tech at Georgia. Saturday, some of your games of note. Michigan is at Ohio State, that traditional game. Tennessee at Vanderbilt. Very watchable game. Vanderbilt gave LSU a good run the other night. USC in terms of South Carolina at Clemson. Big game. Boy, that's probably the biggest South Carolina-Clemson game in a long time. Both teams going bowling. Clemson still hoping that Syracuse could knock off Miami, and then Clemson would slide into the ACC championship game against SMU. Notre Dame at USC. Southern Cal got a hard-fought win over UCLA. Notre Dame, boy, their schedule has just let them down. That Texas A&M loss the other night, didn't help Notre Dame, but they're going to get in. Notre Dame's going to get in with the ugliest loss in Power 5 college football, basically, teams that are going to the playoffs. And really, Notre Dame will not have – you realize Notre Dame will not have any game on their schedule that you could call a big win. Southern Cal's lost 5 games. Beating Southern Cal's no big deal. A&M now has lost 3 games. That's the closest Notre Dame has to a big win. But again, in terms of teams fighting to get in the college football playoff, Notre Dame's got the ugliest loss by far. Northern Illinois ended up about 5. I think they're 6-5. It's not like Northern Illinois went into South Bend and knocked off Notre Dame on a year where Northern Illinois is going to go 10-1 and to a big bowl. Northern Illinois is not very good. Some more games coming up in college football. Miami at Syracuse, we mentioned that's a Saturday game. The Canes have to win that, or Clemson, who already has finished their regular season in conference play. It's going to be either Miami or Clemson. Miami wins, they're in. Clemson's out. Miami loses, Clemson is in against SMU, and Miami is out. California at SMU, that game is pretty much a moot point unless you're SMU and you lose the following week in the conference championship game. You could at least hope you would get a bid with 2 losses as a 2-loss at-large team. Wrapping up Saturday action, Arizona State at Arizona. State is trying to get in their conference championship game. Florida at Florida State. That's a 7, I think. It's either 7 or 7:30 ESPN2 game. Florida at Florida State. Texas at Texas A&M is Saturday, and Washington at Oregon. Oregon is in the championship game of their conference, but Oregon wants to hold that number 1 seed. They need a win over a decent, not great Washington team. All right, let's take a break. We're going to hopefully catch up with Alex Reed from the Jacksonville Icemen, see what happened last week, where they're going this week, and how you can get involved. A couple of home games coming up from the arena with the Jacksonville Icemen. Some hockey action. We'll catch you up on that. Cruising through hour number 1. Good-looking afternoon around the First Coast here as we come back live from Icebreakers Bar and Grill, the tremendous sports bar inside the Community First Igloo.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
Since 1936, Procter Ace has been proudly helping Jax with all your home and garden projects. Whether you need tools, paint, plumbing supplies, or expert advice, we've got what you need to get the job done right. Looking to brighten your yard? Visit our garden center for plants, tools, and everything to make your outdoor space flourish. You're not just shopping here, you're part of our community. So come in today and let us help you tackle your next project with a smile. After all,
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
When I say it means something to me, gentlemen, it means something to me.
High school football is back and it's bigger than ever. Welcome to the Friday Night Zone Blitz.
It is bigger than a game.
Watch the biggest games each week live as the action unfolds with instant reaction and analysis from our Hall of Famer, Kevin Sullivan. It starts with live look-ins at the top matchups, including our Jaguars Prep Whataburger Game of the Week, and that is just the beginning of 4 straight hours of coverage. From 8 to 10:30, the Friday Night Zone Blitz is streaming on our Action News Jax app and online. At 10:30, the Friday Night Blitz you know and love. A half hour of highlights from around the area. 11 o'clock, we shine the spotlight on the bands that pump up the crowd. 11:15, it's time to blitz through the highlights online and on air. Then 11:35, back to the stream to break down the night's results with a reaction from local coaches. 4 straight hours of high school football on the Friday Night Zone Blitz. Only on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's Buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years and also sit on the Baker's Bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices or pitching. Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit Bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports is local sports, from Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast. Bakersport.com.
Time to talk some Icemen hockey with, as promised, Alex Reed from the Icemen, the Director of Broadcasting and Communications. All right, Mr. Alex, how about that weather? Huh?
Oh,
ain't good?
Outside, I know. It's real good.
Ain't good?
Why are we in here right now?
I don't know, man. It is warm out there now.
It is, yeah.
A little chilly last night and this morning, but, man, it has warmed up nicely and feels wonderful in here with the 2 ice rinks.
Nice, yeah.
Do people just wander in during the summer? Do they just wander in because they know it's going to feel good in there?
Maybe. I tell people all the time, if you're ever in this part of town and you just need to cool off, just walk into rink 1 or 2 here, and it is the coolest place in Jacksonville. Literally the coolest place.
Feels great in here. And I learned to always have long sleeves on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, you need to. You do need to have it in here. It can get a little chilly, and obviously the cooler mornings makes it even chillier here. But it's great outside right now.
Do y'all ever have to pull the ice up? You know, down at the arena, they pull it up in different. When y'all aren't playing, they pull it up in 6 months.
No, not here.
There's no need to, right?
Really, no need to here. I mean, we're pretty much at 365.
Yeah.
A day, a year.
But you can cover it for events. I've been here with events.
Yeah. No, we
like the arena. You know, the arena has. Jelly Roll was there Saturday. Obviously, there was ice under there. You know,
there is. Yeah. We actually hit just in October. We had our Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
Yep.
You notice the big bobbleheads here.
Sure.
But, we just we put the boards down just like they do at the arena, and then you
full service
at that point. So you can use that space.
A lot of space, a lot of space. Let's talk all things Icemen. Let's go back to last week. I want to say Wednesday, 5-0 shutout.
Mm-hmm.
Was that Wednesday? I know it blends together.
Yeah, I believe it was.
Last week, definitely.
Yeah, it was Wednesday against Adirondack.
Yeah, Adirondack.
Great win.
Catch us up last week, 2 or 3 games. Obviously, it's now 2-3 games a week now, right? I mean, it's game on.
Yeah, no, it is. After a slow start as far as just games, we were on an NFL schedule, big gap.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into the, we're making up for lost time, right? Just the way the schedule fell this year. But 4 games in 5 days last week. 8 points were possible in the standings, and we were able to get 5 points, 5 of the 8.
So is that a good win?
Yeah,
good week?
That's actually a pretty good week. You would take that most often, pretty much any week. If you get told, you can get 5 of 8, I think most coaches would take that, But and what's been great about it is the team's been doing it really without 3 of their top 6 forwards out of the lineup. They're finding ways to win. Yesterday was the tail end of the road trip. I think it finally caught up with the guys. It was a tough loss yesterday, but snapped a 5-game unbeaten in regulation streak. So I mean, hey, it's I think the team's doing pretty well, and considering missing some of their top forwards right now.
The life of and I'm figuring this out. I've gone on Icemen games, been around the team and worked down there, but really doing this every week with you, and it gets me on the site and gets me really paying attention to the schedule. So much similarity, minor league hockey player, minor league baseball player. I mean, the number of games and I mean, you're not on the Concorde. I'm sorry, but you're not traveling on the Queen Elizabeth or the Concorde, right?
Yeah.
And you're just the nature of the beast. The minor league hockey player, the minor league baseball player, the number of games. You're not staying in the 5, 6, 7 seasons, 8 seasons, right?
Yeah.
That's incumbent on you, man. The travel's tough. Your body wants to wear down, man. You better be a professional and take it serious, or it's going to beat you, I would imagine, the road.
Yeah, 100%. And it is harder at this level, and not just so much from the actual travel itself, but there's a reason why the NHL doesn't play. They very rarely play back-to-back nights.
Absolutely.
And here in this league, you got to play sometimes 3 different games in 3 cities and 3 nights in a row. This past weekend the team did 4 games in 5 days, but it's tough, and these guys really do. It's really hard. There's not enough. Really, there really isn't enough time for these guys to have their bodies fully recover.
Absolutely.
And so they have to do their best to just basically take care of their bodies, and they got to eat well. And these guys do take it very seriously. It's unbelievable. I can remember back in the day, it was decades ago, but basically it was beers in the locker room, right? And now these guys' diets are so dialed in and detailed. These guys really take care of themselves. They're in hockey players nowadays, even at this level, are in best shape ever.
I mean, you can see,
and they have to be because of the schedule.
You really do. You can see old classic sports film, 50s, 60s, especially when TV, 50s TV was being born, and 60s it got pretty good, and color. 60s and 70s, you could see old baseball, Major League Baseball level film where it'll be a random game, and they'll cut to the Cardinals dugout playing the Pirates, and there's a guy smoking.
Yeah, you're right.
Or the famous 1970s Lynn Dawson, Hall of Fame quarterback, Kansas City, great player. There's a famous shot, and he was not the only one, in the 70s. Now, color TV, 70s, NFL, Lynn Dawson, helmet off, dirty, in the middle of the game. He's got a heater just smoking away.
I mean, I think I've heard of goalies in the 90s in the NHL doing that, smoking cigarettes during the intermission.
But it's one thing.
It's totally different.
It's one thing if the rest of the guys aren't Greek Adonises. Well, you can get away with that.
Yeah.
Well, now if everybody else is taking care of themselves, that may be the edge that keeps you or sends you down.
100%, and it is. I mean, it is. If you're really serious about moving up, I mean, it's a numbers game. So, I think I've said here on this segment before that, I'd say most of our roster can go right up to the next level and fit right in, no problem. And it's not that they're not good enough. That's why they're not. It's just the way the game has evolved.
Yeah.
These are really good hockey players.
Yeah.
They can move up to the next level and be just fine. It's a numbers game. There's only so many spots to go. So they just got to make certain they're prepared, they're ready. And when you're playing that third game in 3 days, you can kind of see it come third period. You can see the guys are really winded. You can just see that the team set in. So it is tough. When I was traveling with the team, and you see that third period, like, just hope we can survive. We have a lead. Let's hope we can survive it. It can be tough on those guys.
Does your organization and all organizations at your level in this league, do you house your players half the year kind of together, or because the transient nature, they want to get called up and some of them get sit down. You can't. They aren't homeowners. They're not right. I mean, are they housed in the same area? How's that work at this level?
Yeah. So every team in this league has to provide housing for the players, and they got to pay for the housing. They've got to pay for all the utilities and all that stuff to go along.
Well, they're not going and hunting it down and hooking
Correct.
it up.
It's already pretty much
sure.
set up. It's a
Sure.
furnished place too. The team's responsible
Sure.
for that.
Sure.
A lot of teams will do they'll work out a deal with an apartment
Sure.
complex for the season. We're in the great spot. We have townhomes that we own and that we manage and for these guys. So it's a great. We have some of the best housing in the league. We really do. So we take care of that for them, and then guy gets called up, and then we got to bring somebody in. That person takes that bedroom.
Yeah.
But we do have mostly 2-bedroom townhomes and a couple 3-bedrooms in there as well.
How did we scored some points last week? Goal scorers. Are we starting to figure out who our goal scorers are? I mean, I would imagine each team has 2 or 3 just really good scorers that you lean on.
Yeah.
And say, man, we need a couple from you guys each night.
Yeah, it has been kind of by committee lately.
You said Cockrell one.
Yeah, Cockrell and Harris and Coughlin. Those 3 guys are currently nursing injuries right now. So that's 3 of our top 6 forwards. So those are guys that we do rely on. But the other guys have been stepping up. They've been scoring. We've been getting some scoring from guys that and from some of the other lines that maybe aren't known for that. But they're just working hard and getting rewarded. So I think the team's doing pretty well, all things considered. It was a tough schedule last week, and they got 5 of 8 points. I mean, that's not bad at all, and especially when you got 3 very important players out of the lineup. They've been doing this whole thing without those guys, and so that I think it's a testament to what this team has. I just think that they ran out of steam yesterday, but they can reset here this week on Wednesday against a division foe.
We'll talk about that in a quick second. One more. I like to get my hockey education.
Absolutely.
When I'm at the Icemen game, I see the line change where 2 or 3 guys go off and 2 or 3 guys jump the wall and they go on. Is that called by a coach, or is that a designated, or the players? How is that structured? And these 3 know to go on together. These 3 know to come off. Is somebody calling that?
Yeah. Usually it's kind of there's a couple things in this process. Obviously, players know they're on the tail end of the shift. They're tired. They're gassed. So
is that why the shift happens? Is it fresh,
just to
fresh legs?
Yeah, fresh legs. They want to keep the shifts reasonably short there, but those guys go out there and they go hard, and then then they need to get a breather. So and a lot of that's mostly the player will know. When
do they have a signal? Some football teams tap the helmet. Do they have, or
not really?
You can just kind of tell.
They just know. They know when they need to get
and
off.
The head coach kind of
and you'll hear yelling from the bench as well from the coaches saying change up, change up.
Yeah.
Usually the assistant coach will handle the defense changes, and then the head coach handles the forward change.
Can a line change happen no matter where the puck's at?
Yeah, I mean you can do it whenever.
There's smart times and not smart times.
Right, exactly. If it's in transition, sometimes you see a coach go, "Hey, we're going to make a change right now." And because it's safe, and then all of a sudden that puck hit off something and it's going the other way.
My.
That change might happen at a bad time. It does happen. I mean, you don't want to ever have a bad change because it can lead to scoring chances. So yes, there's bad times to do it, but you can do it whenever. The only time you really can't make a line change, is after an icing whistle. So if you're the team that iced the puck, then the faceoff comes all the way back down and you're in again. But kind of the punishment is you can't change up. The other team can change and put fresh players. But it can be quite grueling for a guy.
You want to punish them if they're trying to use that to their advantage.
Correct. Yeah, and sometimes you have to
do it. You can do it all you want, but you're going to face fresh legs.
Right. You're going to face fresh legs all the time, and then you just got to hope that you get the puck out of the zone and get it cleared, and then you can get the change and get the fresh bodies back out there. But that's the one instance where you really can't make a change is as an offensive or as a team on defense, basically. Is on the ice.
Is there a number of changes? Wait a minute, you've changed too many this period, or no?
No, it's unlimited. Unlimited on the changes. Yep. It's just
but I mean, if you've got a Wayne Gretzky, you don't want him coming off the ice very often.
No,
right?
No. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, just want to conserve his energy, but
and they don't have to be. You don't do you turn in a this is line Joe, Steve, and Pete? They have to be together, or no?
Yeah. So
is there a pregame lineup that you?
Pretty much, yeah. There is a set lineup, and the coaches say, "Hey, I feel like these are the lines I want to go with." And as the game goes on, they might realize that this isn't working with these guys. We got to find chemistry, and so they'll juggle the lines a little bit, try to find some pairings that work better. So that constantly changes, and you can change that as much as you want as well. You just got to start somewhere in every game, and coaches will come up with a lineup
that bench area must be chaotic.
It can be, yeah. And again, it's all about communication. The guys coming off have to yell, "Hey, I'm coming off." The coaches have to kind of coordinate it. It's kind of it really is. It's a 2-part system. Sometimes the players know they got to change. Oftentimes if things are fine and they're smooth and you're on a tail end of a long shift, you'll see a player dump the puck in and then get it deep in their offensive zone,
right?
And then they'll jump off. You never want to really take a change when the puck's in your own end.
No,
because
not smart.
That's not smart.
No,
yeah.
Darn it! I had one more question I wanted, and I want to talk about the promotions. In our arena downtown where Icemen play, the 2 benches and the penalty box is on the other side. Is it always like that, or it's always on that? And
pretty uniform that it is that way. There are a couple of arenas in this league. I think Kalamazoo is one of them, where the benches are opposite from each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I have seen that before, and I think a team in Elmira that used to play in the league, I think they had that set up too. But yeah, there are a couple, very rare. You don't see very often where the benches are across each other. That's just the way the layout is.
Little trivia for you. Through the 70s, the Minnesota Vikings, they played in the same stadium as the Minnesota Twins, baseball, football.
Right. Yeah.
And this was the last NFL stadium that did this, but it was not the only one. Through the 70s, the Vikings, when their home games, both teams were on the same sideline.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Both because of the configuration. 50-yard line this way was the Cowboys, and 50-yard line that was the Vikings. But no, both teams were on the same sideline.
How about that?
That was the last NFL stadium that had that. All right, let's talk about some Icemen action. And, man, this is a neat week.
Yep.
Wednesday, next game, home game.
Yeah.
Gobble wobble. It's obviously Turkey, Thanksgiving induced. A lot of people in town. School's out. I think tomorrow's the last day.
Yeah.
That should be a blast. Talk about the promotion on Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday, the Gobble Wobble is just kind of like a drink and game ticket package. There's a pregame, drink special that's taking place. So, fans can call our office or go to the website, jacksicemen.com, for more information on that. And, of course, it is a Wednesday game. So, for everybody, we have the $3 beer and wine special.
Okay.
And that's for every Wednesday game this season. And so that's kind of what's happening. And then it's also the kickoff healthcare appreciation.
And that's brought by Ascension, right?
Yeah. Yep. It's St. Vincent. And they'll be doing that on Wednesday and Friday. So we got some kind of tickets for our great healthcare workers. And then on Saturday, it's the first two of our Pucks and Calls promotions. Pucks and Calls, Trevor Vets Animal Hospital. That's where you can bring your dog to the game. It's a great thing. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Your dog does need to be ticketed, but you can bring the dog. Yeah. You got to have a ticket for the dog. But,
sure you do.
But you got to bring. But it's a great thing.
And a lot of guys are out there going, "I'd rather bring my dog than my wife." I didn't say that out loud, but I didn't say that out loud.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it's a nice event there. It's a chance to bring your dog to the game.
Now y'all jump down to Orlando for a quick one.
Yeah, on Friday.
Yeah, boom.
Yeah.
But that's nice. We talked about that last week. It's just
absolutely.
right down. That was planned out real well. And then the Saturday, though, is the that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, Pucks and Paws, it's always great.
So you hear a dog just bark during?
Yeah. And sometimes they, when it gets real quiet, they'll do the doorbell sound effect. And it gets
great.
You start hearing the dog bark.
That is great. Unless you've been working on your dog to say, "Quit, Rover, quit barking" when somebody comes over.
Yeah. Then the Icemen are just running all that by ringing the doorbell.
That is great. I really look forward to that.
Yeah, no, it's a great event too, and you get to see just meet other dogs or people and fans that have their dogs. They get to see that. They have a rest area for the dogs to go potty and stuff like that. So
you don't let them on the ice, do you?
No. Well, actually, that's not true.
Oh my goodness!
I thank you for bringing that up. We do have a dog race during the intermission.
Oh, that's great.
So not everybody's dog shoot, but you can go to the information desk when you arrive, and they're looking for contestants. But it's a dog race it's a sprint from one end of the ice to the other.
Does the dog handler stay with their dog or get on the other end?
So you have one dog handler to hold the dog, and the other one's on the other side of the ice, calling it and getting it to run down. So
I can only imagine because I see the I don't know what you call it when you get the people and take their shoes off.
Yeah.
And y'all do the race.
Yes.
On the ice.
Oh yes.
Well, that's a hoot. These dogs must.
Oh, it is fun. It's
now,
great. Some of the dogs take off running. Yes, if anyone's wanting to know, we have had a dog use the bathroom.
I was about to ask.
Yeah,
now,
it does happen.
That's not the one you invited me to be at, right? Because you want me to hold the basket or something. I'm not. No, I'm not doing the doggy cleanup.
Right, exactly.
You've had one do it though?
We have. Yes, I think it was a couple years ago.
I bet the crowd cheered.
Oh, it was great. I think it was a game that we were losing too. And people are like, "Well, that's fitting, right?" No, but it was. It's a sight to see. It's great. It's a lot of fun. And again, that's this Saturday.
So Wednesday, Saturday of this week. The family's in. You can only have so much family time. You got to get out of the house.
Do it.
Wednesday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Icemen hockey.
That's it. You got it.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Good job as always. I want a full report next week on the dog Saturday.
I'll send you the clip.
That's my buddy Alex Reed with the Jacksonville Icemen. Let's take a break. That wraps up hour number one. We'll come back, kick off hour number two. College football, what a Saturday. Holy cow. Brent Beard will be here to relive it and talk about things that are coming up this weekend in college football. That and a whole lot more of the Young Norvelle Show, continuing from Icebreakers Bar and Grill inside the Community First Igloo.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Oh, there's a good-looking shot of Albert strutting his stuff around on this past Saturday. What a glorious, beautiful, beautiful fall Saturday it was in Gainesville. Pretty exciting ball game as we welcome you back to hour number 2, the Young Norvelle Show, coming to you from the Community First Igloo. Of course, inside there you will find our actual home, the Icebreakers Bar and Grill. It's a wonderful sports bar, huge sports bar, tremendous full-service restaurant supporting the sports bar. And if you don't know about it yet, you're looking for a place to have a business lunch in this Emerson Street area, or just get out, watch some ball, have a team banquet. They can handle any size crowd. I've been in here where they've hosted a banquet of 300. They can do a little bit of everything here at Icebreakers Bar and Grill. Let's welcome Brent Beard to the show. Brent, one hellacious, crazy Saturday of college football. May as well start in Gainesville. I was on hand second game in a row where I think Florida defensively has written the book on bend but don't break.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure how. I want to say Ole Miss had 77 snaps. LSU had 92, and respectively, Florida gave up 17 and 16 points, I think it was, in those two games. Brent, I'm not sure how Florida pulled it off second week in a row, but all that matters is triple zeros and who's got the bigger score.
That is all that matters. And speaking of defensively, they have 11 sacks in the last two games. They had 7 against LSU, and they had 4 against Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And then you've got Jaden Baugh, who ran for 184 yards. And look, when you look at Lagway's stats, they don't blow you away. No. But the thing is, Terry, he's got 3 or 4 explosive plays every game, and that's the reason he's playing.
He had a couple of passes and a couple of almost, I don't want to say lucky flips, but he had several plays Saturday that looked like it was straight out of the Patrick Mahomes playbook. I mean, he just had some arm angle throws, some almost gets sacked, almost eyes in the back of his head flips, things like that. But you're right. He has a long way to go. He's got a lot of improvement to make. He's nowhere near a finished product, but he does something that the good players do in team sports. He gives his team confidence. Florida feels like when they break that huddle, if they have thought bubbles, those other 10 players feel like we're going to score a touchdown every play.
Yeah.
He brings that magic that the good ones do.
He raises the level of play for everybody is a thing that he does. Now, the other thing that people may not realize this yet, in the last 2 weeks, they have flipped 6 recruits and they've gone from in the like 51 to now they've cracked the top 20 in recruiting.
Yeah.
So that's what they've been able to do over the last 2 weeks. And it's almost magical at this point. I didn't think they'd beat Ole Miss, but I mean, they stayed competitive.
Yeah.
They kept going and going. And listen, I've got a buddy that is on the Ole Miss broadcast team. He texted me shortly after the game and said, "This is a soul-crushing loss for Ole Miss." They really thought that this was going to be their chance.
Yeah. The people I know some people that are tied into the Ole Miss world, and I got a text Saturday morning early as I'm driving into Gainesville, and we're texting, talking about the game and all, and he said, he said Kiffin and that Ole Miss group that got on that plane, he said they are all business. They're handling this as a business trip, and I got the same thing, and just a lot of salt was rubbed in the wound. I don't mean poor sport, but Florida dunking on their basketball. You know, you got to be pretty arrogant when you bring a basketball goal.
Yeah, you do.
Stadium, and that's what they do. I get it. But Florida's dunking on that after the game, and it was a unique game. It was a unique game where I thought at the end of the game, Florida didn't know how to close it out. Florida had the football with the lead, start twice, 6-minute mark, and then, very late in the game. I mean, Florida had one drive. I think when they got the ball back with 6 minutes to go, and you thought, okay, do an extended 4-minute drive and put the game away. I thought Napier got really conservative. They also had a horse collar that should have helped them. It didn't help them at all. I mean, they had a horse collar 15-yard penalty, and they did nothing with their last 2 drives. They tried to give that game away at the end.
Yeah, they really did. And then you can make an argument that Dart did the same thing. I mean, he threw I know one of them didn't count, but I mean, to Terry, didn't he basically throw 3 interceptions?
He really did.
In the last 3 or 4 minutes.
And that one into triple coverage, I don't know.
Oh,
that wasn't a bad throw. It was a terrible decision.
It was.
There wasn't a good throw in there. You couldn't make a good throw.
Now, obviously, Aaron Gates got hurt. It was sad to see that.
That hurt.
Hopefully, he'll be okay fairly soon. But look, there is probably not a hotter team in college football right now than they are. And again, as you and I've talked about, man alive, they were beating either Tennessee or Georgia. If they'd won one of those games, we'd be having a different conversation right now.
Yeah, the thing that we've got to see is, well, obviously the team likes Billy Napier. The players like him. He's a likable guy. I think they love him. They play hard for him. The step he's got to take, and I know we've got Florida State Saturday, Florida does, and then the bowl game, and all the way to go. But next year, he's still got to, I think, delegate some stuff and change some staff.
Yes.
You would be silly if you got blinded by these 2 weeks.
Right.
And with that said, I think he's got to change his approach to the game. But they've got to make sure. It's wonderful if you're a 7-5, 8-4 coach and you spring an upset here and there. Florida football doesn't want 8-4 with an upset every year.
No.
7-5 with 1.5 upsets every year. Because if you're 7-5, 8-4 with an upset, that season also will include a couple of stinkers.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's not what they're looking for. You got to make sure he can make the right moves to raise the bar. Because right now, I just be careful. 8-4 upset every year. I don't think that's acceptable.
Yeah, it is for this year because no one thought, really, none of us thought they'd be doing anything that he might be fired right now. But they are one of the hottest teams, frankly, in the nation at this point, and they're doing it really well. Now, back to your point a minute ago, he still needs to hire an offensive coordinator, let him call the plays. And I still say he needs a special teams coordinator as bad as he needs an offensive coordinator.
Absolutely. His special teams, he's got, I mean, I don't know if people realize Trey Smack and Crawshaw.
Yes.
Those are two specialists.
They are. They really are.
They've probably hidden some stuff that's even been worse with special teams, right? I mean, those guys have been specialists. You may not have those every year. What about Saturday morning, Christmas coming early for the Georgia Bulldogs? Georgia woke up, and I mean, that was like an early Christmas Saturday for the Bulldogs. I remember saying during the week, I said last week, boy, Georgia's biggest friend right now is Florida. They need Florida to knock off Ole Miss. Not only did Ole Miss lose, not only did Alabama lose, not only did Texas A&M, boy, Georgia woke up to early Christmas Saturday, didn't they?
Well, and Georgia fans, I wonder if our viewers have seen this. Georgia fans were basically doing the Gator chop. Now, I'm sorry, it wasn't Georgia, it was Tennessee. Tennessee did. But still, really, it was one of those Saturdays that you see every now and then. But look, we had talked about this, that you had 3 road teams that were in danger of the possibility of losing. I will say this about the weekend, and we've talked about this before, and this is important. No league, no conference can do what the SEC did this weekend, meaning that you've got teams in the middle of the pack who can do that. Now, Terry, tell me otherwise. Could the middle of the pack of the Big 12 or the Big 10 or the ACC, could you see 3 upsets like we saw Saturday? I'm
sorry, but Nebraska or Wisconsin is not going to beat Ohio State.
No.
They're just not going to go in on a meaningful Saturday and beat them like the SEC did. The Texas A&M game was really odd to watch. They kind of, A&M with so much on the line, they kind of were sleepwalking early. They're down 21-0.
They were.
And then I stuck with that game. I'm flipping back and forth. I stuck with A&M really took control. They started taking control in the third quarter.
They did.
They were dominating in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn was lucky to get it into overtime, and then boy, I thought A&M got really conservative. And they had the heartbreaking trick play that kind of bounced off the chest. But my goodness, A&M got a reprieve though. They're still in the mix though, right?
They are.
As bad as that loss should have hurt them, they're still in. Right? If they win, they're in against Georgia.
Well, and see yes, and that's the reality of it is whatever they lost in the loss to Auburn, they can gain back by beating Texas.
Yep, and they're right back in the championship game, beat Georgia and Atlanta, and you go on. That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Get to the dance, but Auburn's improved. Auburn, you got to tip your hat. Auburn they were a hot mess for 5 weeks.
They were.
They've improved. Auburn, and we'll spin into Alabama. I don't think many people saw not just Oklahoma winning, but dominating. Auburn could give Alabama some issues. I think the wheels are wobbling a little bit in Tuscaloosa, aren't they?
Well, and if Alabama doesn't match the Auburn intensity, that's going to be a problem. And first of all, with Auburn, you had a Peyton Thorne threw from was 300 yards, which is something that you don't see a lot. I really thought when A&M scored late at the Terry that they were going to win.
Same here.
And to your point,
same here.
A&M was behind 21-0.
Yep.
And came back and really should have won. But I'm with you. I thought some of the calls in the early overtimes for A&M were peculiar, at least. That they really should have thrown the ball down the field. They did not, and that was a problem. But the Auburn defense is pretty good.
Yeah, they are.
They're not Oklahoma good, but they are good. But Alabama absolutely was not, and the coaches would deny it. They were not prepared for that game.
No.
They were not focused on that game at all. And but what Oklahoma did was what Vanderbilt did. It was the same blueprint that they did use. Yes.
Before we break, we've got some other national games to look at that happen and kind of peek ahead to a busy Thanksgiving week. Have you had a chance to reach out and what is the temperature right now? State of Alabama, city of Tuscaloosa. I mean, Bama doesn't lug around 3 losses in the regular season very often.
They're certainly not happy, and they're not happy that the team was not prepared to play, and they really didn't want to be there, and they didn't make any adjustments. So that was an issue, but they're also and Jalen Milroe had just not worked out at times.
Yeah,
Jalen Milroe reminds me of Jalen Hurts. They're almost the same player in some way. Milroe is not a 5-step drop back passer.
No,
that's just not who he is at all. But the offensive line struggle that they had a little success when they ran the backs, and they didn't do it. So I mean, he's not going to be fired by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
It's a transition year. Now, he may really need to make some adjustments to his coaching staff. But I'll tell you this, Terry, and this is amazing too. But I mean, Bama's still, they're like 13.
Yeah.
And look, this is what you and I have said. People will snicker with this. And I'm not saying they're going to get in, but I'm saying if they do, it's going to be because they beat Auburn and they look good doing it. And the TV people whispered in the committee's ear and said, if you've got a 3-loss team between Alabama, Ole Miss, and South Carolina, we kind of like it to be Alabama.
Yes. I'm going to be so provincial as we go to break, Brent, and we'll look at some of the national games that were played and where we're going this week in the next segment. But gosh darn, I'm so provincial. How about a 3-loss Alabama or a 1-loss Indiana?
Yeah.
I mean, Indiana's played.
I can see that.
I mean, Indiana's played. We'll talk about that. Indiana, Ohio State, Colorado, a tough trip to Kansas City, actually, where they played that game. Some other national games this past weekend, and what shapes up to be a fun, not so much Thursday night. Man, I wish we had a better game on Thursday night.
I agree.
Friday's got a lot. I wish we had one or two of those games moved to Thursday night.
Yes.
That's just me. Brent, we'll take a lap around the entire nation and start, plugging in these championship games as we're closing in. Well, we're less than 2 weeks from Selection Sunday. Thank you very much. Brent Beard on another segment when we come back. The Young Norvelle Show coming to you from Icebreakers Bar and Grill.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Wow, beautiful sunset as it is going down. That's a gorgeous shot, man, and it just looks like the temperature's right. Welcome back to the Young Norvelle Show on a Monday live at Icebreakers Bar and Grill inside the Community First Igloo, of course, the corporate home of the Jacksonville Icemen, Brent Beard, another segment here as we start wrapping up college football that was this past Saturday and looking ahead to this week. Brent, not to pick on Indiana, and gosh darn, I know Notre Dame is Notre Dame, but you look at Indiana and Notre Dame, there's a good chance both of them are getting into the playoff with no signature win.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at Indiana. They got routed by Ohio State, right? Indiana, FIU, Western Illinois, UCLA, Charlotte, Maryland, Northwestern, Nebraska, Washington, at Michigan State, Michigan, at Ohio State, and they've got Purdue next. They have no signature win. They got bombed in their one big game.
Right.
But they're going to be 11-1 and screaming that they deserve a bid. And then, I mean, I get it. Notre Dame is Notre Dame. Brent, if Texas beats Texas A&M this week, Notre Dame's only marquee win will be over a 4-loss A&M team. That's it.
Right. That's right.
That is it. And Notre Dame will have had the ugliest loss by anybody in the field by a mile. Do you realize Northern Illinois is like 6-5?
Yeah.
They're 6-5. I don't know, but Brent, what do you make of Indiana? I mean, they were bombed against Ohio State. Ohio State woke up a little bit finally Saturday.
They're a nice story. I appreciate Kirk Cignetti coming from the Saban tree. I mean, I like their quarterback, but they are. And I don't want to just say they're a cute story and let it go at that, because he's made some progress. I do wonder why they gave him an 8-year extension. That doesn't make a lot of sense, frankly. And they'll beat Purdue, although they could let Ohio State beat them twice. That's real. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, look. It's a good story. I get it, but the problem is no one certainly in the South thinks that Indiana could beat any of the teams that we have just mentioned.
Yeah.
I know some people are going to take up for them, and I get that. But all in all, my thing is, how long will this last? Will this be they'll have one loss, they'll get to and they'll get to the playoffs and get bombed by somebody, and then it doesn't mean much after that. Hopefully they'll be okay, but no. And they're going to be. And look, is it possible that even with just one loss, Terry, could the committee leave them out?
You wonder.
On strength of schedule or something of that nature.
You wonder how much they value strength of schedule and quality win.
Right.
Quality win strength. It's just not there. I mean,
no,
it's just not there. A lot of people, I didn't necessarily jump on this bandwagon because I haven't seen Kansas play that much. I know they got the real slow start. I know they're playing real well. A lot of people saw that Kansas win over Colorado coming. I really didn't put a lot of thought into that game, but following the game, that was a lot like Indiana. Even though Colorado can score with anybody, Colorado had no. Kansas marched up and down the field. It was they put up. Colorado's defense put up next to no fight. I mean, that was not even. Kansas could have scored anytime they wanted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I agree. Lance Leipold's a good coach.
Yeah.
I mean, he did some real rebuilding jobs along that line too. But, I mean, that basically takes Colorado out, I believe, in unless again, you may – and they finished with Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State, yeah.
Could – my thing is, could Deion and Travis Hunter – and this, I don't want to call it a mystique. It's too soon for that. But could that be enough to get them in the playoffs by the TV numbers?
Boy, I don't. Ooh, that's a tough call. I want to look even further past there and say no to that, and then say, well, what an awkward bowl selection Colorado would be. Before I picked Colorado, don't you have to have assurances? Dion, is your son going to play quarterback, and is Travis Hunter going to play both positions? Because, frankly, Colorado without those guys in a bowl game is not much of a draw.
No, they're not at all. And look, the thing with Hunter is Hunter wants to stay healthy to win the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
So that's another thing, and that's why they would be a draw in the playoffs, or at least maybe in the the first tier of the bowl games. Yes.
I mean, if Colorado goes to the wherever bowl, and Shedeur Sanders opts out because he's going pro, and they're all opting out, and Travis Hunter opts out. And, that was a nasty hit on Shedeur on the knees the other day. I don't know if you saw that. Man, that's enough to make you, if you're Shedeur, say, hey, man, look at this. I just don't need this. And he's been banged up over 2 years. But Colorado, man, if they don't make the playoffs, which I don't think they will, I don't think they're going to make their championship game. You better have somebody high ranking in your conference to be able to call Dion and say, hey, are your two guys going to play? Because the Holiday Bowl don't want you, or the whoever bowl. Nothing against your, Joe Horn or whoever the slot receiver is, but everybody, they want to see Hunter and Sanders.
They do. There's no doubt about that. And then you'll have the speculation about Dion. Now, my understanding is Dion says now he's going to stay because they got one of the better quarterbacks in the nation. So and that comes into play too.
Keep in mind, here's a couple things. The 5-star quarterback that just committed to Colorado, that tells me he knows Shedeur's coming out. And Dion said, we're going to hand you the football. Keep in mind, Shedeur Sanders, his 2 years at Colorado, he had a lot of college football under his belt. So there wasn't – last year was their first year, right, at Colorado. There wasn't a lot of ramp-up time. Shedeur knew how to throw it around when he got to Colorado.
He did.
This kid, I mean, if he has the normal growing pains, he may scuffle around his first year. Does Dion want to? Hey, Dion, it's a lot of fun when your quarterback makes all the throws. It's not a lot of fun when your quarterback doesn't, and you don't have a Travis Hunter to lean on.
By the way, let me mention this too. UCF now has got 7 losses. I think they're 4-7.
Yes, they are.
So that brings up questions of, do they do something with Gus, or do they, does he retire? I think that's something worth looking at, Terry.
We had that show. We had that show probably 2 weeks ago. I had a list of coaches I think are very, very hot seat coaches and jobs that might open. And it just seems like that UCF Gus Malzahn marriage needs to end. It just feels like, and they may let him gracefully retire. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
But that thing maxed out, right? That maxed out. They
sure
made
did.
a few waves. They had some fun football, which that's what he did at Auburn, didn't he? He had some fun football, and he had some head scratching losses and performances.
Yes.
I mean, I think he'll be done this year. He was good for UCF at the time. I mean, decent marriage.
And it was good for him to get away from Auburn. He wanted to do that and do it in the easiest transition possible. But again, without belaboring the point here, Terry, the thing with Gus is Gus averages 4 to 5 losses a year. Average. So this unmitigated nonsense about him being an elite coach is simply not true.
You know what? I've always thought this too. I think Gus Malzahn, his time at Auburn, he benefited from. He was one of those coordinators that got a lot of PR. He got a lot of coverage when he was at Auburn. I think more than one casual college football fan thinks Gus Malzahn was the head coach when Auburn won the national title, but it was Gene Chizik.
Yes, that's true.
Right? But that kind of, to the average fan, I think they think, oh, Malzahn did good things at Auburn. Boy, remember he won that national title. That was Chiswick, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but I think Gus gets mixed in that, I think.
Yeah. He does. The national title with Cam Newton in 2010 is what you're and see where Gus gets mixed up. Gus was there for kick 6. That's where that comes from.
Yes.
So no, you're on point with that. Yeah, and frankly, after that, neither Gus and or Chiswick did much.
No, not at all. The ACC, I think, is working itself out now. SMU is in the championship game, right?
Yes,
they've qualified.
Yes,
and win or lose against Cal, they're in. And Miami, if they beat Syracuse, Miami moves on. If Miami gets beat by Syracuse, and I think that's in the Carrier Dome. I think that game is in the Carrier Dome.
It is.
Strange things can happen in that weird setup. If Miami loses to Syracuse, Clemson slides in, right?
Yeah. Okay. SMU's already in. The other spot will go to either Miami or SMU. What I'm looking at, the Hurricanes get in a win. Okay, the Hurricanes get in with a win over the Orange. The Tigers, who play South Carolina, or in if Miami loses.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Miami wins, it's Miami SMU. Miami loses, it's SMU Clemson.
I'll tell you what, Terry, and you think about this. My Lord, how disappointing would that be with Miami? With the season they have had, on the verge of, I don't know if greatness is what I want to say, but they've had a really, they've had a once every 10-year season for themselves. Man, live, how disappointing would that be if they don't get the playoffs?
That ACC we just went over, SMU, Miami, Clemson is the perfect point I've been making all year. The one drawback to these conferences expanding and not going divisions is you've got 16 and 18 teams. You can only play so many. You realize SMU, I think I've got this right, SMU, Miami, Clemson, they haven't played each other at all.
Right.
You've got 18 members in your conference. You're one of them, so there's 17. You only play 8 or 9 games in conference. Well, you're going to miss 7 or 8. Well, Miami missed Clemson and SMU. SMU missed Miami and Clemson. Clemson, they didn't play.
Well, and let me throw this at you. And I was asked this earlier today, was when these schools get to Destin, do they go to Sankey and say, we don't want to have a 9th SEC game? Yeah. Now, I know the ADs want to do it, but Terry, my point is, you're having so many injuries and attrition right now that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, Alabama's already lost 2 starters in the last few weeks on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to ramp up this roster situation for these schools, and particularly in the SEC. I know revenue will be coming, but you're taking a real chance. As thin as some of these teams could be by the time they really get the playoffs.
Yeah. Brent Beard, we're going to get out of here in a few minutes, but I'm thinking aloud here. Okay, we're sitting here Monday the 25th. This coming Saturday is the 30th of November. Am I correct? I mean, a week from Wednesday is National Signing Day.
It is.
A week from Wednesday.
Yeah, that's the 4th, I believe. And it will be, and then basically that's the 4th, and then the playoffs start 16 days later.
Yeah, 16 days later. Final topic, I think, and I always say that. Boy, did Florida get a break! It looks like with signing day being that early, and the way Florida's schedule. You know, a lot of times your schedule is that final Saturday in November is rivalry. Okay, most of your rivals play each other. The week before, a lot of times that would be Florida versus Charleston Southern or Florida versus Mercer, right? Well, the way the schedule played out for the Gators this year, it couldn't have played out much better.
Right.
They had a huge game with LSU deep in November. The following week, which was last Saturday, they had a bigger game with Ole Miss deep into November. All that excitement, those recruits, they just left Gainesville, man, 48 hours ago.
Yeah.
And signing day is around the corner. So having those big games at home and winning them could be a huge boost for Florida.
They are the again, they are the hot team. And like we said earlier, they have turned 6 different players. Yeah. Now a lot of them, several of them are 3 stars, but that doesn't really matter at this point. And I won't go into all the names, but they flipped them from FSU, Southern Cal, Arizona, Cincinnati, Georgia, and they flipped 2 FSU players.
Yeah. Brent, I don't know how it played off on TV Saturday. Obviously, I was in the press box at the game, and late in the game, when Dart was throwing all of his interceptions, and you know how the structure is at Florida Field, that one end zone is where all your recruits sit, and you can see them, and they've got their little area, and they're sitting right there in the end zone. What is that? The sound? I don't know. I'll get
yeah, me too.
That one if you're in the press box to the right, there's 60 recruits, and these are big level recruits. I don't know if TV showed it. The triple coverage interception in that end zone, Thornton, the Gator defensive back, he led his team. They ran all the way down celebrating to the other end zone, and the place was going bonkers, and all those recruits were jumping on the hedges right there, right? And they were going crazy. Well, then the next interception, they did that twice in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, they did.
There were about, I don't know if TV showed it, those recruits were going bonkers with the Gator team. You can't buy that kind of excitement.
No.
I mean, I was kidding my buddies I was sitting with. I go, man, if you're Napier, you're calling down saying, go get the pen and the paper. I mean, he's got the sign right now.
Yeah, really.
Back-to-back interceptions, electric down there, man.
Well, and look, the last 2 crowds with LSU and Ole Miss have been absolutely electric.
It's bonkers.
The place has been full. That they couldn't have had a better atmosphere, as well as they are playing right now. And again, the strength of this team is in this young underclassmen.
Yeah. And Florida's had a lot of injuries themselves. They have
moved
young kids in and moved young kids in, and they're figuring it out. Brent, let's get out of here. I know you're busy. We'll visit a couple of times this week.
Yeah.
Great week of football heading into Championship Sunday, Selection Sunday, Signing Day. Woo, we got a busy couple weeks.
And we need to remind folks. Let me look at this again. About the TV schedule.
Yeah.
Now, again, the Egg Bowl is Friday afternoon at 3:30, and then and then you got Texas A. I'm sorry, no, you got Georgia Tech
at night.
At night.
Yeah.
So that's pretty sweet to have that. I think Tech could give them some problem.
I do too. I think that's gonna be a good game.
Oh yeah. Now Thanksgiving night, believe it or not, you got Memphis at Tulane.
And Tulane's hanging around.
Listen, this John Summerall at Tulane, who came from Troy, is one of the better quarterbacks coaches anywhere.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, Toledo at Akron. And then just for you and Patrick, tomorrow night at 7 is Alabama versus Houston basketball in Las Vegas.
That sounds good. Good stuff, Brent. Let's visit a couple times this week, buddy.
We will, bro. Take care.
That's my buddy, Brent Beard. Let's take a final break. Come back. We'll wrap things up. Busy Monday, as always, from the Icebreakers Bar and Grill inside the Community First Igloo.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device, you're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
There you go. Lights coming on. Boy, that is a gorgeous shot overhead of the downtown area as we welcome you back. Wrapping things up on a Monday, the Young Norvelle Show coming to you, of course, from our Monday home, Icebreakers Bar and Grill inside the Community First Igloo. I want to thank some guests we've had. Alex Reed, we have him every Monday with the Jacksonville Icemen, catching up. Remember, Wednesday, Saturday home games this week, and we're going to get away. Wednesday should be a real fun time. A little extra special Wednesday with the kids. Most kids are out of school starting tomorrow, I believe. So Wednesday will be really the first day of the holiday for the kids. If you need to get out and get them away, get them entertained, and or you got family and you can't go wrong. Indoor entertainment, the Jacksonville Icemen Wednesday at home of this week and Saturday. Bring your dog to the ice rink on Saturday. That sounds like a lot of fun. So we want to thank Alex Reed for joining us today. And also Brent Beard, who's a big part of our show. Brent does a super job with college sports, particularly college football and basketball. I had a good time reminiscing about the weekend that was with all the upsets in college football. We'll keep you posted all week. Will Trevor Lawrence play? Will he not play? I guess by Wednesday after practice, we'll have a bit better idea. I would imagine Doug Peterson will make some type of announcement Wednesday and or Thursday on his availability. Tough call. It really is. Do you go ahead and sit him down, get him all the way healthy for next year, You owe it to your ticket buyers as well, though. It's it's a little dicey situation there that the Jaguars have to work through at 2-9. A storyline that it really won't go far to determine the game over in Tallahassee on Saturday night. By the way, that is a night game. It's 7 or 7:30. I think it finally got set today, but definitely a night game. Florida at Florida State this coming Saturday. A little spin-off side story will be who will have the most fans in the stadium. And it's just a little fun spin-off, but you may or may not be aware, Doak Campbell Stadium is currently under renovations. They are knocked down. They've got a bunch of areas that are not inhabitable. They're down to about 55,000 seats this season. Normally their capacity has always been right around 80,000. So they're missing a chunk of seats. And I'm telling you, man, I'm not so sure that Florida, I think the Gators may have more Gators in that stadium Saturday than Florida State. And I know that sounds crazy, but there's a lot of things that are set up tough for Florida State, including it being a night game and a 2-10, 2-9, whatever they are, 2-9 record. We will see. That'll wrap it up. Hope you enjoyed the show. I know we enjoyed bringing it to you. We'll get together tomorrow for the Tuesday edition out in the heart of Mandarin at Julington Creek Hurricanes. Hope to see you there, folks. Have a great Monday, everybody.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding with Bold City Heating and Air. It's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bolt City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bolt City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoltCityAC.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bolt City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoltCityAC.com. And they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bolt City Heating and Air at BoltCityAC.com. Homegrown in your home.